Hi, I'm Shoestring Jane and welcome back to my channel. Here I talk about all things thrifty, frugal and money saving. And today I thought I'd just show you my money saving week. We have been catching up since we went to London. A few things have happened, probably due to the trip to London, but I will show you those as the video progresses. I have been following mainly low carb menu this week and meal plans, so I'll show you some of the things I've been eating. I think at the moment it's still definitely costing more than just eating a lot of pasta and that sort of thing, but I feel better. Not completely better, I still feel very tired, but I get a lot of pain just here. I don't know why they're particularly, but a lot of pain in my thumbs to the point where if sometimes Justin will go to hold my hand and he'll touch it and I'll go, ow, and he's just literally touched it. And that seems to be getting a lot better. So I would like to say I'm feeling a lot more energetic. I feel a bit more energetic, but I still do feel tired, but it's early days. I've been doing this for about 2 weeks now, and when we were in London I didn't manage to follow it, so it was too difficult to follow it, so I just gave up. So I had 2 days where I was just more or less eating carbs and anything else really. So I've been doing it strictly since we got back to London, from London rather, and I generally do feel a bit better. I think not eating sugar and not drinking alcohol are the two things that make the most difference. But anyway, I'll show you what we've been eating, what we've been up to, and just a bit of worky stuff.
18, 21 quid worth of bacon. We're going to pop you on the top, 58 quid worth of few salmon steaks. Absolutely superb. We're going to get a challenge worth and a beautiful cabbage also.
So here I am, fresh back from the boot sale, hence the dishevelled appearance. It was absolutely beautiful day. It is a lovely morning today, it's really lovely. But the boot sale was a bit rubbish. Again, it was a bit rubbish last time I went. It's just like a flea market now. It's full of traders. There's hardly any proper boot salers, and it just means it's just a lot of tat, or it's stuff that might be useful for you to buy, but you could get in just a standard shop really. So it was a bit disappointing. I did pick up, and these are not second hand, I've wanted some decent pasta bowls for ages, and these are new. And they're really nice, heavy bowls by a company called Grestel. I've never heard of them, Portuguese. They're a bit dirty, they need a good wash. But I bought 6 of those, they were £1.50 each. So that was actually quite a good deal, I thought. So I've got those in the box. So that was all right. But Justin asked me to get him some rubber gloves, the sort of gloves that you use for work and gardening and that sort of thing. And all of the gloves I kept finding were tiny, and he's got quite big hands, so I ended up buying these, which I've actually got my coffee, took a cup of coffee, and it leaked a bit, the end of it leaked. So I got a couple of pairs of those, they were like £1 each, so they're not too bad, but again, nothing second hand. And then I picked this up. There were lots of stalls that just had all of their clothes just spread out, and they looked like mostly they were house clearance people, but I happened to spot this at the top, and it's Joe Brown's. So Joe Brown's is a good brand. It's also a very big size. It's size 20 to 22. So it's just a wool mix, kind of Christmassy jumper. It looks Christmassy anyway. Well, I don't know, the colours aren't very Christmassy, are they? But it looks like snowflakes. So it's a wool, 50% wool. So I thought, well, that's actually quite a nice quality. So I'll get that. That was only £1. 50% wool and the rest is polyamide and acrylic. But yeah, it's in nice condition as well. So I don't know. Tell me what you think. Is that a Christmas jumper? It's the wrong colours for Christmas, isn't it? That wasn't too bad. And I also picked this up from, I got 2 things from the same lady. I've got a feeling I've taken the hanger as well. I normally give people their hangers back. I don't know why I didn't. It's absolutely awful, but somebody will like it. It's brand new with tags, and it was 50p. It was 50p. She was selling all her clothes for 50p, and I said, what, even these? New with tags, it's only boohoo, so it's kind of fast fashion, but for Christmas, it's a kind of dress. For Christmas, so it'd be worth buying 50p anyway, so there wasn't very much else going. So, and the other thing, I just picked this up. I have no idea if it has any value, but I thought people like this kind of thing. The beaver bits come off. It had like a sticker on it, but it's like a wetsuit, a long one, and it's in a large size. The lady said that she bought it for herself but it was too big for her, so I'll just sort of try and check out the sizing on that. Absolutely no idea on the value of that, but I would think that summer coming up, somebody might actually want that. And that literally was it. The only other thing I bought was 2 9-volt batteries for the smoke alarm in here, which has been gone for ages. And every time I look in a shop, they don't have the right shape one. So they had those for £1 each. So I bought 2 of those. And that was it. That was literally all I bought. So all in all, not very exciting. And Mr. Shoestring has COVID. So he was full of cold and was saying he'd just got a cold. And we just got back from London, where we sat on the underground, sat on the tube, sat on public transport, on trains. We went into a very busy natural history museum and the V&A and the Sky Garden, and stayed in a hotel. And so we did put ourselves in the way of it for the first time in about 3 years. But you kind of get to the point where you think, well, you know, if it's going to get me, it's going to get me. And we've both had vaccinations. So, you know, some people do that every day. We've been able to avoid it, and we've avoided getting COVID altogether. But so he woke up and he felt full of cold. I made him do a test and it was positive. I've done 2 tests and they've both been negative. So whether that means it's still lurking or somehow I'm not going to get it, we'll see. I have quite a strong immune system. I used to not get colds when all around me at work were falling with colds, but whether that means I can not get COVID, I don't know. I do actually feel a bit bunged up and I have a slightly sore throat, but it's spring. I get hay fever. I fully expect to have those things anyway, so it doesn't necessarily mean that I've got COVID, but it also doesn't mean that I haven't got COVID. So it's a bit of a pain, but you know, it's one of those things. I'm sure lots of you have had it, and hopefully it's going to be very mild seems to be for Justin. It seems to be very mild at the moment, and hopefully if I get it, it'll be very mild for me. But it doesn't mean we can't go and see anyone this week. I was going to go and see my parents tomorrow, but I'm not going to go risk taking it over there. I saw my daughter on Saturday before Justin tested positive. She came around for dinner. Luckily just me here, not Justin. So I'm hoping I haven't given it to her. And I haven't seen the other 2 daughters for a week or so. So we saw one daughter actually when we got back from London immediately, because she was looking after the dog. So I hope I haven't given it to her. We'll see. What can you do? There's nothing you can do, is there, except do your best not to get it and hope it's mild.
Oh, I feel bad.
Here he is, Mr. Sicky, trying to get
Sicky, I've got
trying to get
COVID.
sympathy.
I've got a certificate for it.
Your certificate, good.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's that London trip you made me do.
all right, we'll just keep away from me then. Okay. So I'm in my messy office, as you can see. So there's a few bits that I bought at the boot sale. I didn't buy very much. I've got some things that I'm waiting to list that I need to get on with. All of this is listed, this kind of coats here. And then I've got all of these boxes, which has theoretically got listed items for eBay. So there's a lot of them, but there are a few, and I've got some more here. But there are some things that when I go to do the odd sort of semi-stock take, I discover that hasn't been listed. It's kind of fallen off eBay. And also there's lots of things that when I look at it, that's my messy desk, my tomatoes. When I look at it, I discover that it's just probably not worth selling. Anyway, let's turn you around the other way. My daughter Becky is doing a boot sale. I said to her that I would go through, it gave me the good opportunity really to really look at my eBay boxes and have a clear out basically. Look at things that perhaps don't have a very good value, don't have a high value, and maybe could just be, normally I would donate them to the charity shop. I've been meaning to do this for ages, but since she is saving up something and she would like the money, I'm going to donate them to my daughter and she can sell them at the boot sale. But it's good because it gives me a deadline. So I've got this week to go through as many boxes as possible. I've done about 4. You can see I've got quite a lot to do from what I've just showed you. So I'm going through this box of tops and pulling out things that I think are probably boot sale things and things that need to be kind of properly wrapped. I never used to put them in anything in these plastic bags because I didn't want to put things in more plastic, and I resisted. But in the end, things like this is a silk top. They were just getting so screwed up and looking so awful when it came to sending them out that I have relented and bought some plastic bags, which I don't want to do because I've been using, before I was wrapping things up when I sent them into some tissue paper, recycled tissue paper, and I can't put them in the boxes in recycled tissue paper because it would rip and I can't see what's in it. So it's really annoying. I could get biodegradable plastic, but I've read that it's not actually that much better than plastic. And also I don't want it to biodegrade when it's sitting in my boxes. So unfortunately I'm having to do this, and it does keep things much nicer. I'm just reminding myself of what I've got in here actually. I've got some odd things. I've got some really pretty things that I think that's really pretty. It's like a little tie-dyed cardigan. Too big for me, or too small for me rather. It was a medium actually. I must have tried it on there because I like it. And then this very ugly vintage, I think it's vintage, opera by Richards. Very ugly top. So I really don't know whether to keep that or not. I have to see if it's got any value. So yeah, I've got some quite nice things. So I just need to work out, you know, things that have somehow fallen off the listing, relist them, or things that have been kind of sitting around for a while, perhaps need rephotographing is the other thing. Things that can go to the boot sale with Becky, and everything is going to be nicely packed up and put back in the box. So I've done several boxes this way, and it just looks so much nicer. You use less space in the boxes as well. And because we will be moving house in about, well, probably we'll be looking to do it in about 6 months' time. I want to whittle it all down as much as possible, so I'm only selling stuff that's worth selling. The other thing with eBay is it's gone completely flat. This whole year has been absolutely awful, and I don't know if that's generally, I have heard other people say the same things, or whether it's clothing. I do seem to be doing quite well still with bric-a-brac, so I'm wondering if perhaps I should be sticking to that kind of thing and selling mainly bric-a-brac, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I've made 2 purchases this week with my birthday money that I hope will save me money ultimately. One of them is this heated blanket, which I did want to get in the winter, but I couldn't really justify the expense. But I think that'll be useful next winter, or just cold sort of spring, summer evenings. And the other thing was an Instant Pot. So in case you haven't come across these, they are multi-cookers. They're basically pressure cookers, but they do loads of other stuff. So they can steam, saute, you can bake stuff, you can make yogurt, you can roast meat, you can do slow cooking in them, you can do all sorts in them. So I've watched other people like Claire from Claire's Journey. She has done quite a few videos on Instant Pot recipes, and I was impressed. So I invested my birthday money in one of those, and future videos will show you how I get on with using it. Hopefully that will be cheaper to use and cheaper to run than the oven. So at the moment we need to save all the money on energy that we possibly can, don't we? So this is a pretty standard breakfast for me when I'm trying to eat low carb. So obviously I can't have cereal, so I'll have a bit of Greek yogurt, which I get from Lidl. You have to get the full fat, authentic, proper Greek stuff. The Greek style yogurt is just not worth having in my opinion. I usually use frozen fruit, but these were £1 off with my Lidl app, so I thought, why not just get some fresh raspberries. So we had some for dessert last night. Berries are really fine to have on a low carb diet. And then I like to add some good fats, so I'll have a couple of tablespoons of sunflower seeds. I did buy these from Lidl, but I'm actually going to probably get a bulk lot again from the grape tree, because if you buy in bulk it seems to be reasonable. They didn't actually have any in Lidl when I went in the other day anyway. They didn't have any seeds at all. So, and then sometimes, not always, I'll add a few nuts. In this case I'm going to add a few walnuts. So that's my healthy keto breakfast. Well, I say keto, it would be keto, but I'm not doing keto, I'm just doing low carb. So it's a healthy low carb breakfast that will keep me going until lunchtime, when I've got some homemade soup. So excuse the very noisy pan. I'm just frying off some celery, onion and carrots, and I'm about to chuck in some broccoli that I cut into a few days ago, and I've also got some carrots. This is leftover veg that I've frozen. I'm not actually sure what's in there. It looks like it could be carrots and swede maybe. So that's going in, and then I've got some broccoli stalks and some carrot peelings that are going to go in as well. And yesterday I had some swede with my dinner, so I'm going to chuck that in as well because I'm not using potatoes at the moment because I'm doing low carb. And this is the frozen and defrosted, I can't open it with one hand, frozen and defrosted bone broth that's going to be my base. So I'm just making a kind of, I don't know, chunky-ish soup. I haven't cut everything very small. And that'll be my thrifty dinner for today. I want to keep it a little bit chunky, which is why I'm doing it like this. Just blasting little bits of it. So I don't want it to be very chunky because it's got some quite large bits of vegetables in there. But I would like it to, you can still see the vegetables element. It's quite thin actually. I think that will do it. There you go. A little bit. There you go. It's a nice thrifty lunch. Just a vegetable soup made from bits of veg from the fridge that needed using up, my homemade bone broth, and some sort of bits of trimmings like broccoli trimmings and that sort of thing. So super cheap. As is often the case, I'm not following any kind of recipe. I've been really busy today catching up because we've just got back from London yesterday and I had stuff to do. So I got some mince out of the freezer, and it's quite fatty mince because I'm doing low carb, and I've literally just chucked a load of vegetables in the pan. I've fried off the meat first, chucked all of these vegetables in the pan. I'm just frying those on, and I'll put the meat back in. I'm going to add some mushrooms as well, which really need eating. They've been sat in the fridge for a while, so they've definitely got to go in. And a can of tomatoes, maybe some beef stock. And that literally is going to be it. I'm just going to cook it up, salt and pepper, some herbs, and that's going to be dinner tonight. I'm not going to do any, obviously I'm not doing any potatoes with it because I'm doing low carb. I was going to do swede with it, but honestly I'm so out of time now and I'm really hungry, so I haven't got time. I'm just going to do this. And it's pretty healthy, I think. I mean, it's quite fatty, but it's low carb and pretty healthy. So there you have it. It's just this kind of savoury mince and vegetables. Very easy, very straightforward and pretty cheap to make. So I've had a really busy day and my meal plan went to pot. I just wanted something really easy. I picked up a bag of salad for 20p reduced in Lidl. I had some mozzarella that needs using. I've literally just boiled these eggs, which is why they are steaming. I had olives already in the fridge and tomatoes, and that's my homegrown sprouts. So that's what we've got for dinner. Nice, easy but healthy low carb dinner. So my daughter came around for dinner and we had pork with mushrooms and vegetables, and then jelly, sugar-free jelly and cream with a few raspberries in there as well. So I'm actually remembering to record what I'm eating. So I've got a keto roll that I've made and I've just warmed it up in the air fryer just for 3 minutes because it just felt like it needed it. I've got 2 eggs there. I've managed to squish one of them and a handful of little plum tomatoes, and that is my lunch. More of the 20p salad today with some reduced price salmon. So that's me for this week. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and give me the thumbs up, and do set your notifications so that you can see next time I publish a video. So I'm off to tend Mr. Shoestring and mop his fevered brow now. He's retired to bed. He's still all right, but he's not feeling too great. So I'll go off to look after him for now, and I will see you next time, and hopefully I won't have it and I'll be back on Sunday. Bye.